Hi everyone, I'm excited to share today's project because I tried something a little different and I honestly did not expect it to look this good. I used a 3D embossing folder on brushed gold metallic cardstock, and the texture and dimension turned out absolutely stunning. This is such a simple technique, but it creates a really dramatic and elegant look. This video is also a part of a YouTube hop featuring the brand new release from Altenew. I'll have a link down below in the video description to the next person in the hop, so be sure to check that out and don't forget to leave a comment along the way for a chance to be entered into the giveaway. The product that I'm going to be using today as the main focus is the Craft Your Life Project Kit Frozen Moments from Altenew. So this is a brand new release for February 2026. We have a large stamp set with sentiments, embossing folder, coordinating die, and also a stencil. Now, inside, you always get the guide to kind of show you what the stencil creates. And what I realized about this is that there are no coordinating dies for this. Now, I kind of sped this part up, but I did want to kind of include this in the video. This was my planning process. My idea was to stencil on a flower bouquet and then use the frame to frame it. So what I wanted to do was line up that bouquet in the center of my cardstock as best as I could. And to do that, I kind of went through the stencils for this particular bouquet, and I'm using the leaves as a guide because I figure they're going to be sticking out the furthest. So I really wanted to use the leaves to center the design. And then I placed the flowers over the top. You can see I'm using my sticky mat to kind of hold those in place. And then I can remove the leaves layer and just use the flowers layer, which is the one I need to start with, really. So I hope that made sense. That's why I left the visual in here for you, is that was just a quick way for me to help center this since I cannot die cut it out to place it on the card front. I'm going to be ink blending directly onto the A2 size white panel that I have. I'll be using the Sugar Plums Fresh Dye Ink Collection to do this, and I'm starting with a pale mauve. So I'm going to start with a really light pale color to do my base layer using a small blending brush. I did mask off around there so I didn't get any of that ink transferred onto the cardstock. And then I'm going to come in with just a little bit of amethyst because I really do like to kind of mix up my shades a little bit on each layer. So this would also make a really, really great one layer card. And I actually almost did that. I kind of want to go back and do this particular bouquet again because I fell in love with it so much. Now I removed the first layer of the stencil. I'm coming in with the second layer to this design, sticking with that second color. I think that was amethyst. And then I moved into the third color in this ink collection and added just a little bit to that one. You can just do one color per layer, but I find it's just more visually interesting to mix up those shades on each layer. Now I'm moving on to the leaves, and I will be using the Jade Dreams Fresh Dye Ink Collection, starting with the second color in there. So this is Misty Sage. I moved on to a mini blending brush because the area gets a little bit smaller. It's easier to use a smaller blending brush when the bristles are more compact. That just kind of helps get into those fine detailed areas a little bit better. I will position the next layer of the stencil for this particular bouquet, and I moved on to the Mossy Meadows. So it's getting a little bit darker. Again, using a blending brush here or a small, no, they're called mini blending brushes. Now, at first, I was trying to be really careful because this one also does the center of the flowers. And I thought about doing like the dark purple in the center of the flowers, but I kind of just threw caution to the wind. I went over all of it with the green. I'm going to come back a little later on and do brown or even black would work for the centers. Now, I did come in with green opal and a micro blending brush to do a little bit of extra contrast to the leaves, and then came in with mocha, which is from the Coffee Break Fresh Dye Ink Collection. So a brown really plays nicely with this color combination, but go ahead and try black because I bet that would look amazing as well. We have one more layer to this particular bouquet, and I came in with the green opal and I went just a little bit more heavier handed because I really didn't find a green in my ink collection that went darker than this and matched the tone of the ink that I was using. So I just went a little heavier handed over that layer of the leaves. And then there is another detail layer here to the flowers. And for that, I jumped to the darkest color in that Sugar Plums collection. Now, when I remove this layer of the stencil, we're going to take a moment and just appreciate this. It is stunning. I really fell in love with that bouquet, and it would make a great one layer card. Now, that one went pretty quick and was really easy to do. So I thought, well, why not go ahead and do one of the other bouquets? Because there's actually 3 bouquets that you can do with this stencil set. So I moved on to a larger one. This one's gonna just be a little bit more full, but I'm using these same colors that I did in the first bouquet. Once again, I did kind of step it up here and there by swishing in 2 different shades on each layer. It is really helpful to have the guide that comes with your kits to give you an idea of what colors are going to be where or how they're going to layer together. So I do reference that quite a bit off on the side of my mat. If I ever feel I want to go a little bit darker in some areas, I can always place my stencil back over the top. Now I'm moving on to the leaves once again, starting out with that mossy metal. And a funny twist to this is there actually was a stencil I set off on the side and I forgot about. And I had removed my cardstock and needed to line it all back up so I could add the extra shade. But I kind of just went through those same colors that I did in the previous card with the Jade Dreams. Here, I'm going to add that same mocha to the center. So these cards would be a really great gift set because they are really easy to create. It does go pretty quick. And so this would be a great thing. You could just sit and stencil out a bunch of different colors of flowers and put them together to create one layer cards and make it a gift set. Now, I know I'm saying one layer cards a lot, and that's because I really almost did it, but I was dying to use the frames that were included in this set. So this is where I thought I was done, and it does look really great, but then I found off on the side one more stencil that goes with this. And again, I'm using the green opal and just applying a heavier hand of color to make it darker. If I really wanted it to be super dark, I could have come in with a little bit of dark brown over that green or even a little bit of black. Here I'm just trying to get an idea of how the frames are going to look over the top of those bouquets. So it's a very unique and almost kind of, I would say, Victorian style type of look. And I decided to try something different and used some brushed gold cardstock. I don't often use my brushed gold for embossing folders. What a game changer this is for your frames. Honestly, you could do this out of any color of cardstock and it would probably be look amazing. But to use this in the embossing folder just takes it to a whole new level. So I die cut both the rectangle and the oval frame from the brushed gold cardstock, and I'm flipping them over and placing them inside of the embossing folder. I'm going to do one at a time just because I wasn't sure at first how this was going to turn out. And then once I kind of feel it lock into place, this is the side of the embossing folder that's pushed in. So you'll feel it kind of fit in place like a puzzle. And then I just use a low tack tape to hold that in place. And I will close the embossing folder and run that through my die cut machine with the recommended sandwich for a 3D embossing folder. Now check out all of that embossed detail. I did not even feel like I made that myself. I felt like that was something store-bought or vintage out of a vintage store. It did literally blow me away. So I'm going ahead and doing the same thing with the oval, again, holding that down with a low tack tape. And then I'm going to run that through the die cut machine. And again, it embossed so amazing on that brushed gold. So if you have not tried doing something like that, I highly recommend it. I die cut out another rectangle and oval frame from just some plain white cardstock, and I'm adding liquid glue to it to put my gold frame on top. I didn't want to fuss with any foam tape, and so I wanted to add some dimension to it, and that was the best way I found to do it, was just adding another layer of cardstock behind them, and then placing something heavy like maybe your acrylic blocks, things like that, that you can just set it off on the side and let that adhere together. Once those are dry, I place them over the front of my panel to get an idea of how they're going to look. Now, my oval frame does cover up this first stencil design quite a bit, but I think it fits nicely. And I use that as a guide for stamping my sentiment. I am stamping one of the sentiments from the Frozen Moment stamp set in the kit, and I'm stamping that in Obsidian ink using my StampWheel 2.0. I do have a sticky mat underneath to kind of hold everything in place. I was a little worried that I would not see the sentiment because of the colors that I chose, but I there was just something I really fell in love with this. You could heat emboss it maybe too, but I don't know, kind of having that sentiment hidden in the flowers just did something for me. I really loved how that turned out. So I do have another sentiment picked out for the rectangle frame. I am placing that down towards the bottom. So this is going to be underneath the rectangle frame. And I really want to make sure that that's centered because that sentiment is going to help me line up my frame. I created A2 size side folding card bases and I used my tape runner to attach each of those panels. And then I just roll up some low tack tape to hold my card base closed so that I can place my frame over the top. That way my card base is not popping open. I added liquid glue behind my oval frame, placing that over the top, making sure I am lined up in the center so my margins are even on the right and left hand side. And then the same thing for the rectangle frame. This time, not only am I watching my margins, but I'm also making sure that the frame is centered with the sentiment that I stamped. And that's going to finish up today's project. I hope you enjoyed seeing how this simple technique created such an unexpected and stunning result using a 3D embossing folder on brushed gold metallic cardstock. Metallic cardstock can sometimes feel a little intimidating because you might worry about cracking or losing your detail, but using the right pressure and setting on your machine and letting the embossing folder do the work really helps achieve that deep dimensional texture while still keeping the shine smooth and elegant. Don't forget that this video is a part of a video hop celebrating the brand new release from Altenew, so be sure to check out the link down below the video description to hop along to the next creator. And remember to leave comments along the way for your chance to be entered into the giveaway. Supplies are listed down below in the video description, and affiliate links may be used at no additional cost to you, and they help support my channel when you purchase through those links. If you enjoyed today's technique, don't stop there. I have another video that I think you're really going to love. Go ahead and click here to keep the inspiration going, and I will see you there.